My name is Brian Oliver. I'm with Jacob Ebbs this morning for this morning's Group B matchup between Prince Edward Island and Alberta. The teams just in their dugouts right now, and the managers for each team are now meeting with the umpires at home plate here at Kinsman Stadium. Both teams are 1-1 coming into this game this morning, so it's a very significant game for both teams. Prince Edward Island yesterday playing twice, defeating Newfoundland and Labrador by a score of 6-2 and losing a 6-5 heartbreaker in extra innings to Manitoba yesterday at Clarington Fields. Alberta 1-1 yesterday, posting a 3-0 win over Nova Scotia and losing to New Brunswick by a score of 3-0. A beautiful morning here in Oshawa, Ontario, crystal blue sky. And we're about to get ready for baseball in just a few moments. The Alberta team is in their black uniforms this morning, and they will be the home team. Prince Edward Island is the visitor. They will be wearing their green jerseys. So, Jacob, we've got you saw a couple of these teams play yesterday as well. What going into this game, you knowing 1-1 and knowing that teams need to finish top two in Group B in order to make it to the medal round. This is a very significant game for both teams.
Absolutely. Considering what PEI has going for them at this point, they really need to conserve their pitching. On their roster, they only have 15 players, 10 of which are pitchers at this point. So they really got to conserve their pitching here. Their starter has to have one heck of a game. I'm looking forward to this. It's going to be a great day.
Alberta, as we said, in the black uniforms. Gavin Galenza will be the starting pitcher for Alberta. Setting the Alberta defense, Gavin Galenza is the pitcher. Catcher is Russell Matson, number 5. First base will be number 24, Cole Carroll. Second base, Joey Gagnon. Shortstop, Jack Wheatley. Third base, Connor Pote. In the outfield for Alberta, Jacob Rubelski. And left, Max Hartman in center field, and Carter Anderson is the right fielder. So Prince Edward Island coming up to the plate now to start this morning's ball game. Your umpires for today's game, Genevieve Gabory is behind the plate, Chris Walters at first base, and Bryce Mason at third base. The leadoff hitter for Prince Edward Island will be the left fielder, number 26, Owen Lynch, and he will look at strike one from Gavin Galenza. Galenza's second pitch is low and in the dirt for ball one. Ball and a strike to Owen Lynch. The 1-1 pitch is in there for a strike. A ball and 2 strikes now to Owen Lynch, leading things off for Prince Edward Island. Prince Edward Island in the green jerseys. Lynch batting from the right side. He fouls that away to stay alive, 1-2.
Watching the Newfoundland-Labrador game yesterday, Owen Lynch is definitely a really tough out to get. He's really the characteristic of a leadoff hitter. He's going to fight off the pitches, and he has insane speed down the line.
The 1-2 pitch is high. So the count is even now at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Just underway here, Prince Edward Island and Alberta. Group B action at the Ray Carter Cup, boys under 15 Baseball Canada Championships. Pitch is low, count is full, 3-2. Owen Lynch putting up a very tough at bat to start the game here for Prince Edward Island. Galenza's 3-2 offering is high, ball 4. Owen Lynch draws a walk to start the game, and that'll bring up center fielder Will Morrison.
You could probably already hear from our broadcast here, PEI, who is beside us. They're already pretty rowdy, aren't they?
Yeah, they're very much awake for this game this morning. It's just a high-energy bench right now, and certainly nothing helps more than to get that leadoff batter on for a team to start a game. Will Morrison will bat from the left side. They'll check the runner. Lynch is back in time. Will Morrison was one of the players of the game in one of PEI's matches yesterday. Center fielder bats from the left side. Galenza's pitch is outside, ball one. The Alberta team from Okotoks near Calgary. Okotoks will host the Ray Carter Cup next year in 2020. Here's the 1-0 pitch. It's a bunt down the left field line. It's staying fair. No play for the catcher. He was hoping it would roll foul. It did not. And Russell Matson had to pick it up and was not able to make a throw. First and second now. Nobody out for Prince Edward Island here in the top of the first.
I got to tell you, that was almost a perfectly placed bunt right down the line. Catcher almost had no play there.
So a big opportunity here for Prince Edward Island. Luke Coughlin will come up now, the first baseman, batting from the left side. First and second, nobody out. Let's see what he does here. Gavin Galenza's pitch is swung on and missed. Big cut. Strike one. Gavin Galenza looks in for the sign. The pitch is lifted to the left side. Possible play. It's in no man's land, and it drops for a base hit. They try to throw it to third base. Not in time. It's a bloop single for Luke Coughlin. The bases are loaded for PEI. Nobody out. And Jacob, that was just one of those balls in a spot behind third base, behind the shortstop, but in front of the left fielder, and they just could not get to it.
You got to feel bad for the pitcher because two back-to-back quality pitches. You think with that one there, that's going to be an easy play, but turns out that ball actually does fall more times than not.
There is a slight breeze, actually a fairly reasonable breeze blowing in from left field, so any ball that's hit to left field is going to be held up by the breeze and pushed back toward the infield. That may have been a bit of a factor on that ball there. But either way, the bases are loaded now for PEI, and it's cleanup hitter Cody McCormack, the second baseman, batting from the right side here. Big opportunity for PEI to get out on top here in the top of the first. Galenza's pitch is lifted to right field. It is dropped by the right fielder Carter Anderson. A run is in. It's 1-0 PEI, and a ball that likely should have been caught. Nobody out and bases still loaded, and one in now for PEI.
Well, I was going to say if he didn't match the first pitch, this guy can flat out rake. That right there looks like kind of just handcuffed the right fielder.
So the bases remain loaded for Grayson Laporte, the catcher. Laporte looks at ball one. Again, Prince Edward Island in the green jerseys with the white pants. They have the bases loaded here in the top of the first inning. One run in already. Nobody out. Grayson Laporte with a 1-0 count looks at ball two. Gavin Galenza. This all started with a leadoff walk, and we've had a couple of singles and an error so far here in the top of the first inning. 14 pitches already for Gavin Galenza. That pitch is low and away for ball three. 3 balls, no strikes, and there's no place to put Grayson Laporte, Jacob.
You can kind of see the Alberta pitching coach. He doesn't want to go up there for the second time because in that case he would have to pull him. He can kind of just yell at his pitcher right now. Just calm down. Just relax. One pitch, you're back in it.
The 3-0 pitch is in there for a strike.
There we go.
3 balls, 1 strike to Grayson Laporte. The right-handed batter steps back in. Here comes the 3-1 pitch from Galenza. It's put in play, and it's a base hit up the middle. That will score 1 run, and they will hold the next runner at third base. It's a RBI single for Grayson Laporte. 2-0 PEI.
I believe it was Luke Coughlin who was rounding third base. He actually slipped and fell there. That's why the third baseman put up the stop sign so quick.
So a loud start here for PEI in the top of the first inning. They have a 2-0 lead. The bases remain loaded, and the batter is now Jacob Dunn, the shortstop. Jersey number 38 for PEI. He bats from the left side. Gavin Galenza's leadoff pitch is swung on a miss for strike one. Luke Coughlin at third, Cody McCormick at second, Grayson Laporte, who just singled in the second PEI run, is at first. The 0-1 to Jacob Dunn is fouled away for strike two.
And you can already see PEI is getting a hold of this pitcher right now. There's already some action in the Alberta bullpen.
Yes, down the left field line we see some activity now as the left-hander begins to start stretching and tossing. It's an 0-2 count to Jacob Dunn. Galenza's pitch is very high. No chance for the catcher there, and that is going to allow a third run to come in. It's 3-0 PEI. So a wild pitch there to Gavin Galenza. Russell Matson with no chance to bring that one down. It was just too high for him.
Well, that ball was actually so high that it actually hit our camera, I'm pretty sure, and it's disrupted the angle.
The 1-2 pitch is taken for strike three. That is the first out of the inning. Jacob Dunn retired on strikes, and Alberta really needed that.
Now with 1-0, you can really just sort of get that ground ball. That is all you need. One ground ball and you're out of it.
So that foul ball has knocked our screen, and the camera is partially obscured right now. We apologize for that. We'll try and fix that as soon as possible. Nolan Stewart is the batter now for PEI. Runners at second and third for PEI. 3 runs in already, 1 out. The right fielder swings and misses at that pitch. The count is a ball and a strike. Gavin Galenza delivers. That ball is high. 2 balls and 1 strike now to Nolan Stewart. 24 pitches for Galenza right now. Hoping to solve PEI here and limit the damage. That ball is through the catcher. It's a passed ball. And the 4th run is in for PEI as Cody McCormick comes home from third base. 4-0. Grayson Laporte moves up to third base on that pass ball.
In this situation, especially in the first inning, that cannot happen. Happened twice now to Alberta.
Count is 3-1 to Nolan Stewart. Swing and a miss for strike 2.
Though it seemed a little jumpy there. It almost seemed like he wanted to hit that one right out of the park.
Certainly an RBI situation here with the runner at third and only 1 out. The 3-2 pitch is high. Ball 4, and it's a walk for Nolan Stewart. So runners at the corners now for PEI. Still just 1 out here in the top of the first inning. 4 runs already in. The batter will be the third baseman, number 6, Sam Worth. Sam Worth bats from the right side again. We will work on fixing the camera positioning. Our camera is locked onto the fence, and it was impacted by a foul ball earlier this evening, or earlier this morning, or in this inning rather, and that's why you are seeing a partially obscured view of the game right now. Sam Worth swings and misses at the first pitch from Gavin Galenza, strike 1.
Sam Worth threw in their first game yesterday versus Newfoundland Labrador. Absolutely great game from Worth. I wonder if he can do just as good with the stick here.
Galenza is ready to throw it. The 0-1 pitch. Runner goes from first. That ball is hit to the shortstop. They will throw it over to first, and a nice scoop defensively by Cole Carroll to record the second out of the inning, but it is an RBI for Sam Worth as Grayson Laporte comes home from third. It's 5-0 PEI. 2 away now with a runner on second, and the batter will be the pitcher, number 46, Chris McDougall.
The Alberta coaching staff, you really got to put yourself in their minds right now. How far are they going to let them go? Currently sitting at, I believe it's 30 pitches over there. Swing
and a miss by Chris McDougall on the first offering from Gavin Galenza, strike 1. Runner at second, 2 out. 5 runs in here for PEI in the top of the first. That play at short, just made recently by Alberta, was Jack Wheatley making a nice play to get the second out of the inning for Alberta. Galenza's pitch is taken for a ball.
Oh,
one
wow.
ball and 1 strike.
That was a fantastic curveball there. Not really sure that one missed, but nonetheless, 1-1.
Chris McDougall is the 9th batter of the inning for PEI. It's a bat-around inning here in the first. Count is 1-1 to Chris McDougall. He will foul that away, and it goes to 1-2. PEI, all 5 of their first 5 hitters have scored in this game. Gavin Galenza, the Alberta pitcher, a strike away from getting out of this now, hoping to end a very difficult start for Alberta here. The pitch is high. It's 2-2. If Chris McDougall is able to reach, Owen Lynch, who led off the game with a walk, would come up for a second time here in the first inning. It's a 2-2 count. Gavin Galenza's pitch is swung on and missed for strike 3. The ball's in the dirt. Russell Matson will fire it down to first to record the out and complete the strikeout. The inning is over. 5 runs for Prince Edward Island on 3 hits. There were a couple of walks in there, and there was an error, a huge drop ball in right field. So 5 runs, 3 hits for PEI. Half an inning complete here. It's Prince Edward Island 5, Alberta coming to bat. You are watching the live stream broadcast of the Ray Carter Cup Boys Under 15 Baseball Canada Championships on SportsCanada.TV. Kinsman Civic Memorial Stadium, Oshawa, Ontario. Brian Oliver along with Jacob Ebbs welcoming you to this Group B game between Prince Edward Island and Alberta at the Ray Carter Cup Boys Under 15 Baseball Canada Championships, which are brought to you by Major League Baseball, MLB, the Toronto Blue Jays, Baseball Canada, Dairy Queen, Kahunaverse Sports Group, Rawlings, Mizuno, SportsCanada.TV, Durham College, Residence Conference Centers, GCBS Group of Companies, Play It Again Sports, TorontoCharters.com, and MyCore Insurance. We go to bottom of the first inning. Alberta coming up, having surrendered 5 runs in the top of the first inning. We'll set the Prince Edward Island defense for you right now. Chris McDougall is the starting pitcher for PEI. Grayson Laporte is the catcher. First base, Luke Coughlin. Second base, Cody McCormick. Shortstop, Jacob Dunn. At third base, number 6, Sam Worth. And in the outfield, Owen Lynch is in left, Will Morrison in center, and Nolan Stewart in right field. Again, you're watching us live on SportsCanada.TV. Our camera angle was obscured slightly by a foul ball in the top of the first inning, which is why you see a portion of the fence on the right side of your screen, and we will correct that as soon as we possibly can to restore the clear view of the game. So Alberta will come up with a big mountain to climb out of here in the bottom of the first inning. The leadoff hitter is number 14, Max Hartman, and he rocks one to center field. Will Morrison, though, is under it. 1 pitch, 1 away, and a good start for PEI on the D side.
You gotta love the first pitch outs there. Definitely sets the pitcher in motion right away.
So another left-handed hitter will come up now for Alberta. It is the catcher, number 5, Russell Matson. Chris McDougall throws from the right side. He squares to bunt. Matson does, takes it, and it is called a strike. The count is 0-1. 1 away here for Alberta. In the bottom of the first inning, they are trailing 5-0. McDougall's pitch is low and in the dirt. Almost hit Matson in the leg, but it went by him, so the count is 1-1.
Yeah, you definitely see he even gripped that ball weird. He kind of like shorted himself off there. That's why it caught so close to hitting him.
The 1-1 pitch is fouled away to the left side over the scorer's booth here at Kinsman Civic Stadium. In fact, it flies right out of the stadium. Count is now 1-2.
That is very likely to hit a car.
Very likely to hit a car. There's a street just behind the third base side. If you're coming to the stadium, try to avoid parking right by the diamond. Matson fouls that off. We've heard a few foul balls clunk the roofs and windshields of cars, and that's just not something you want to have happen to your vehicle if you don't need to. There is a parking lot just down the street from Kinsman Civic Memorial Stadium here. You're downtown Oshawa, or just west part of downtown Oshawa, about 65 kilometers east of downtown Toronto. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, an off-speed pitch from McDougall, and there are two away. The EH extra hitter, Luke Wilson, comes up now. Also a left-handed hitter here for Alberta. Two away, nobody on. Alberta down 5 here in the bottom of the first inning to Prince Edward Island. From Alberta's standpoint, Jake, you're down 5. Your tendency is you want to get back into it as soon as you possibly can, but you can't get it all back at once.
You know what? That's exactly. That's a great point to bring up. Probably what their mindset is right now is just try and club the ball out of the diamonds. Just chip away one at a time. You got to play small ball in this situation. You got 7 innings of good baseball, and Alberta, they're a good team. They can definitely do it. Just start chipping away.
Count is 1-1 to Luke Wilson. He will take a ball just outside. 2 balls and 1 strike now to Luke Wilson, hoping to be the first base runner of the game for Alberta. They gave up 5 in the top of the half of the first inning. Nobody on the base pass right now. It's a 2-1 pitch now from Chris McDougall. Taken for ball 3. 3-1. Again, both teams coming into this game with records of 1-1 in Group B. Wilson fouls that to the left side. That one does stay inside the stadium. Count is now 3 balls and 2 strikes. It's a full count. If Wilson is able to reach here, Joey Gagnon, the cleanup hitter, is on deck. Here's the 3-2 for McDougall. It is ripped past the pitcher. The shortstop is not able to come up with it, and it's probably scored a base hit there. It went off the pitcher, then the shortstop was not able to come up with it. Not sure if that's a hit or an error there, but we'll definitely see a base runner now for Alberta with 2 out, and that brings up Joey Gagnon. How would you score that, Jake?
That was a tough one. I'm scoring that right now as a hit. I'm not scoring that as an error. I believe even when the shortstop was coming to get it, he was maybe 2 or 3 steps off the bag. He would have been safe nonetheless.
So a runner on first with 2 out now for Alberta. Joey Gagnon, another left-handed hitter, will put that in play. It's chopped, and it's immediately called a foul ball by Geneviève Gabory, the home plate umpire. So we'll reset. Luke Wilson goes back to first, and Gagnon steps back in. Very tall left-handed hitter for Alberta. See if he can get something going here. He looks at that pitch and takes it for a strike. It's 0-2. McDougall taking something off of that one. Wilson has his lead at first. The 0-2 pitch is high. 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Joey Gagnon. Connor Pote is the batter on deck for Alberta. Count as a ball and 2 strikes. The runner goes. It's balls in play down the first base side. Luke Coughlin is able to gobble that up very easily by the first base bag, and he steps on the bag to record the out and end the inning. So it's no runs on one hit and nobody left on base. 1 inning complete here in Oshawa, Ontario, Kinsman Civic Memorial Stadium. It's a 5-0 lead for PEI over Alberta. You're watching the live stream broadcast of the Ray Carter Cup Boys Under 15 Baseball Canada Championships on SportsCanada.TV. We're back at Kinsman Civic Memorial Stadium, Oshawa, Ontario. Go to the second inning here, Prince Edward Island against Alberta. PEI with 5 runs in the top of the first. They have a 5-0 lead. And there is a new pitcher in the ball game, a left-hander for Alberta. It is Kieran Keeley taking over for Gavin Galenza, who gave up 5 runs on 3 hits back in the first inning. The leadoff hitter is the leadoff batter for PEI, the number 1 in the lineup. It's Owen Lynch. The count is 1-1. Keeley's pitch is put in play with a bunt. Catcher comes up with it. Russell Matson throws down to first. A nice play defensively there by the catcher. 1 away. Will Morrison will come up. He singled and scored back in the first inning in a 5-run uprising for PEI. Morrison looks at the first pitch from Kieran Keeley for strike 1.
Looks like a changeup there. I don't think that was a fastball.
That pitch is high, and the count goes to 1-1. Kieran Keeley from Calgary sees that ball lifted to the left side, and it's over the shortstop's head. Jack Wheatley not able to come up with that. It was, again, just one of those tweeners between the infield and the outfield. It drops in for another base hit. Will Morrison is 2 for 2 in the ballgame.
As a pitcher, you absolutely hate when someone just hits a line drive off you, but you hate it even more when you beat him with a pitch and he just bloops it over the outfield or the infielder's head.
So that brings up Luke Coughlin, the first baseman for PEI, as they check the runner back to first. Luke Coughlin singled and scored in the first inning when Prince Edward Island put up a 5 spot. Luke Coughlin from Charlottetown. Foul that away for strike 1. Student at Stone Park Intermediate School. And Luke, just 14 years old. One of the younger players in the tournament. The 0-1 pitch is fouled away for strike 2. That was a pitcher, Jake. You pitch for Brock University in the OUA in Ontario. You've pitched for many years. You see, you come in as a pitcher in the second inning. Your team's given up 5. You weren't necessarily thinking of coming into the game this early as a pitcher.
No, absolutely
What is
not.
it, your mindset as you come in the second inning? You're just trying to keep your team in the game.
In a situation such as this, when you're really trying to minimize pitch count, I like to think of, I think it was Greg Max that said, you know what, he's not even trying for strikeouts. He's just trying to get a ground ball. If he gets strikeouts, he gets his strikeouts. And in this situation, you got to be throwing strikes. You got to make it look enticing to the hitters. The less number of pitches that you get someone out on, certainly the better.
Keeley throws over to first. Will Morrison is back in time. Runner on first here for PEI. We're in the top of the second inning. Count is 0-2 to Luke Coughlin. And there's one out. Prince Edward Island looking to add to a 5-0 lead. That ball's in the dirt. Ball 1. Nice block by Russell Matson there to ensure that it didn't get by him and allow Morrison to move into scoring position.
The name of the game right now is just conservation. Alberta cannot make any mistakes at this point.
Kieran Keeley will deliver the 1-2 pitch. It's very high. Count is now even at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Something that a good team like PEI is going to pick up on. You can see the ball differently out of the pitcher's hand when it isn't an off-speed or when it is an off-speed. Wonder if they're going to pick up on that one.
It'll be a 2-2 pitch. It's put into play to the right side, and second baseman Joey Gagnon not able to come up with it. Just under his glove. It's a base hit. Luke Coughlin is 2 for 2 in the ball game, and Prince Edward Island is back in business with runners at first and second and 1 away for the cleanup hitter, Cody McCormick.
Now batting second baseman number 43, Cody McCormick.
Game time temperature of 18 degrees Celsius here in Oshawa right now. Beautiful morning. And a beautiful morning, at least a beautiful start for PEI in this game. First pitch to McCormick is taken for a ball. It's high and tight, 1-0. Cody McCormick, back in the first inning, hit a fly ball to right field that was dropped, and that ended up igniting PEI to a 5-run outburst. That pitch is inside, 2-0.
And you bring up a great point, Brian. You've really started to see it in games such as this, or at least what I've seen so far, is that things can get out of control incredibly quickly, whether it be an error or just a few base hits back to back to back. It can start a rally so quickly.
2-0 is the count to Cody McCormick. Pitch is high for ball 3. Prince Edward Island threatening again here in the top of the second inning, and we now start to see again more activity in the Alberta bullpen down the left field line. Kieran's 3-0 pitch is taken for a strike. 3-1. Alberta really in desperate need of an out here. Do not want to load the bases up, and already down 5-0.
You got to pick your poison here. McCormick is a great hitter.
Pitch is taken. It's outside. Very close pitch, but it's a walk. Cody McCormick trots down to first. The base runners move up, and they're loaded now for Grayson Laporte. He singled and scored back in the 5-run PEI first inning. The first pitch to Laporte is taken for a strike. 0-1. Count is 0-1 to Grayson Laporte, taken for strike 2. Bases loaded here, 1 away. Kieran Keeley walking the high wire here on the mound for Alberta. He got the first batter on a bunt attempt. That was fouled away. Count remains 0-2, but since that first out, we've had 2 singles and a walk to load the bases. Corners are in here for Alberta on the defensive side. Anything in the middle, they will try and turn a double play to get out of this. The 0-2 pitch is high. Grayson Laporte batting from the left side, or from the right side, pardon me. The 1-2 pitch is just tried to lob that in there, took something off of it, but it got away, and count is now 2-2.
And here's the issue that I'm really starting to see from this Alberta pitcher here. All of his off speeds, he's just aiming it. He's just trying to get it over. He's not trying to throw with intensity. That's why you're seeing all of his miss.
The 2-2 pitch is hit to second base. They have a chance for 2. flip to second for one, and that's all they'll get. It's a fielder's choice and an RBI for Grayson Laporte. 6-0 PEI. Luke Coughlin moves over to third base on the play, and Will Morrison came in to score. So the situation now for PEI, runners at first and third with 2 out and 1 run in here in the top of the second inning. 6-0 PEI. The batter is Jacob Dunn. The left-handed hitter is 0 for 1 in the game, striking out back in the first. He looks at ball 1. And taking second on that pitch and trotting down without a throw is Grayson Laporte.
Cody McCormick just sort of stopped halfway, see if he could get any further. Catch it and carry, just moved it up freely.
The 1-0 pitch is lifted to left field. That's going to drop in for a base hit. 1 run is in. And here comes Laporte with another run. 2-run score. It's a 2-run single for Jacob Dunn. And it's 8-0.
Well, what did I just say about bleeders? Another bleeder right there. That one hit a little bit harder, just over the shortstop's head. Great piece of hitting nonetheless.
Here we go. Here we go, Nolan.
So Coughlin and Laporte scoring on that single by Jacob Dunn, and it's an 8-0 ball game. The batter now is Nolan Stewart. He walked back in the first inning. Foul ball at the plate, strike 1. 2 away here in the top of the second, but it's been all PEI so far. Kieran Keeley, the Alberta pitcher, looking to end this inning. That pitch is high for a ball, 1-1. Three singles and a walk in this inning for PEI. That ball is very high and tight, 2-1. Alberta does have a pitcher ready to come in if necessary. They were warming somebody up down the third base line in the Alberta bullpen. Keeley's pitch is taken, and it's outside. 3 balls, 1 strike to Nolan Stewart. PEI with a runner at first here and 2 away and 3 runs home. 8-0 PEI.
This is getting out of hand quick.
Runner goes, pitch is high, ball 4.
And it looks like they're going to switch it up here.
So Jacob Dunn moves down to second base with the walk to Nolan Stewart. Sam Worth will be the batter for PEI in just a moment, and we are going to see a pitching change. Kieran Keeley will come off. Disappointed with the way things turned out for him. The new pitcher for Alberta coming on is Liam Lewis from Calgary. A right-handed pitcher will come on to take over. So we'll have a bit of a break here now. 8-0 Prince Edward Island in the top of the second inning. And the third pitcher of the ball game now for Alberta will be Liam Lewis. Other games going on this morning between teams in Group B. This game here between Alberta and PEI is 8-0 here in the second inning. Also playing at this hour, New Brunswick and Nova Scotia. That's at Clarington Fields, about a 20-minute drive east of where we are here in Oshawa. Nova Scotia and New Brunswick both 1-1 in Group B. And the other game going on right now at Ritson Field here in Oshawa, it's Manitoba with a 2-0 record and currently in first place in Group B, taking on Newfoundland and Labrador. Coming up at 1 o'clock here at Kinsman Stadium, it'll be a Group A matchup between the host Oshawa Legionnaires and Team Ontario. Both of those teams have 1-0 records. Oshawa winning last night in a walk-off, a dramatic come-from-behind win in the 7th inning against Quebec, and Ontario winning yesterday against BC. We're all set to go now. Liam Lewis is on the mound for Alberta. First and second, 2 out. And it's Sam Worth. The batter takes the first pitch for a strike just above the belt. 0-1. Two outs. Jacob Dunn is the runner at second. Nolan Stewart the runner at first. 3 runs in for PEI here in the top of the second inning. The 0-1 pitch is high. It goes off the catcher's helmet. There was no swing on the play. It's just it goes as right off the catcher, so it's a wild pitch. Would you call that, or a pass ball? It seemed to catch the catcher by surprise.
Yeah, I think firstly, I believe that was a major cross-up. I think the catcher was expecting curveball. However, I believe that is going to be ruled as a pass ball.
So that allows the runners to move up a base. Second and third now for PEI with 2 out. A 1-1 count to Sam Worth. That ball is fouled to the left side, and a nice play by the third base coach to haul that in.
Soft hands.
Liam Lewis trying to end this outburst by PEI here in the second inning. 3 runs in. The right-hander looks for the signal, fires it in, swing and a miss for strike 3. The inning is over. 3 runs for PEI here in the top of the second inning. They have an 8-0 lead in Alberta, with Alberta coming to bat in the bottom of the second momentarily. You're watching the live stream broadcast of the Ray Carter Cup Boys Under 15 Baseball Canada Championships on SportsCanada.TV. We're at Kinsman Civic Memorial Stadium in Oshawa, Ontario, for this Group B matchup between Prince Edward Island and Alberta. And we're going to the bottom of the second inning with PEI leading 8-0. So the leadoff hitter will be Connor Pote for Alberta here in the bottom of the second inning. 5th consecutive left-handed hitter for Alberta. The first pitch is taken for a strike. Chris McDougall faced 4 batters in the first inning and had a very low pitch count. I think he threw only 16 pitches in the first inning. Connor Pote looks at that pitch away outside. Count is 1-1. Between innings there, Jacob, we saw Alberta have a bit of a team meeting just outside their dugout. What are they talking about?
I think right now it's part of the mental
boy,
game. Oh, we'll hold off on that one.
That is hit very hard to right field, and it's off the wall on the right side. Connor Pote will turn it on, and he is digging for third, and it's a triple, a leadoff triple for Connor Pote. Absolutely crushed that ball to right field, and Alberta with a runner in scoring position and nobody away. That is one of the hardest hit balls we've seen all tournament.
Yeah, that one, actually that one looked like it possibly had the energy to get out of here.
Yeah, that was close. Maybe only the wind maybe held that up just a little bit. But, boy, that was a shot from Connor Pote off of Chris McDougall. Alberta now with a runner at third. Nobody away, and the batter is Gavin Galenza. Gavin Galenza started this game as the pitcher. Gave up 5 runs in the first inning, but he remains in the lineup. Fouls off the first pitch from Chris McDougall. Connor Pote at third base. That pitch is outside. Bit of a sidearm delivery there from Chris McDougall. Count is 1-1.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that was. That's something new. We have not seen that yet.
Galenza will look at a pitch high and tight up at the neck level there. Count is 2-1. Alberta looking to start clawing back at an 8-run deficit here. Still lots of baseball to play, though. We're only in the second inning. That pitch is very high from Chris McDougall. Count is 3-1. Alberta, of course, needs lots of base runners. Galenza hoping to become the second base runner for Alberta in this inning. He looks at a strike. Count is now 3-2. Full count. Even a ball in play here, Prince Edward Island would easily surrender the run and trade it for an out. But Alberta would love to get on the board. That pitch is outside for a walk, ball 4. And Galenza is on. Runners on the corners now for Alberta. And the batter will be the first baseman, number 24, Cole Carroll. So some indications here of some life for Alberta here in the bottom of the second inning, and a couple of base hits, and they could get on the board and start clawing back into this game, Jacob.
Well, as I was gonna say before, the absolute nuke by Connor Pote. Probably the word in the dugout right now is just to calm down, relax. It's 8 runs, it's a lot, but they can do it. They've probably climbed back from much worse throughout the season.
Check the runner, Galenza back to first. Back in plenty of time standing up. Chris McDougall now facing Cole Carroll, right-handed hitter. Runner goes from second. They're not going to throw down to second. It's a stolen base for Galenza. Pitch was a strike, so the count is 0-1, but now runners at second and third for Alberta with nobody out. Opportunity here for Cole Carroll to get his team on the board. Here's the 0-1. Takes it, buckled him a little bit with the knees, wasn't able to pull the trigger. The count is 0-2.
Yeah, he certainly was not sitting on the off speed there.
Cole Carroll, strong right-handed hitter with an 0-2 count, puts that in play to right field. That is going to be caught in center field by Will Morrison. Runner's tag, and it's a sacrifice fly for Cole Carroll. Connor Pote comes in to score. Gavin Galenza moves over to third, and the score is now 8-1. So Cole Carroll doing his job there to bring home a run and get Alberta on the board. The batter will be Carter Anderson, right fielder. Correction, number 23 batting right now. Liam Lewis. Liam Lewis is the batter, number 23. He's the pitcher now in the ball game for Alberta. So there was an outfield substitution. Originally Carter Anderson in right field is now out of the ball game, and it's Liam Lewis, number 23, at the plate, batting in number 8 in the slots for Alberta. Runner at third here with only 1 away. Another chance for Alberta to score. Count is 2-0 to Liam Lewis. Count is now 3-0 with that pitch high.
And just a few pitches ago, you kind of saw the Alberta dugout get into a little bit of, I guess, a little ticked off right there. They believe that the pitcher balked there, and I could see the argument, but the umpires did not call it.
The 3-0 pitch is low for ball 4. It's a walk to Liam Lewis. So now runners at the corners again for Alberta. And that will bring up the shortstop, number 25, Jack Wheatley. And Prince Edward Island is going to talk things over here on the mound as they're facing kind of their first adversity of the morning.
Yeah, really. I think the huge triple by Connor Pote. I think it might have jarred him a little bit. You can see he hasn't been as accurate with his last few batters here, so I think that's what the pitching coach is coming out to talk. Just calm down, relax. I don't think anyone else in this lineup right now is going to do that. However, I've been proven wrong before.
Jack Wheatley will be the batter for Alberta. He's from Calgary and playing shortstop in this ball game.
Now batting first number 25, Jack Wheatley.
Chris McDougall, starting pitcher for PEI. Didn't give up anything in the first inning. There was one base runner, but he's given up a triple, and he's walked a couple of batters here and given up a sac fly here in the second inning for Alberta. The runner goes from second. The pitch is swung through for a strike. It's a stolen base for Liam Lewis. 2 runners in scoring position now for Alberta with 1 away.
Now, if anyone is wondering why the catcher sort of faked it there, he's trying to entice the runner at third base, take a few extra steps off the third base bag, see if they can backpick him.
McDougall's pitch is off speed, curves in there beautifully for a strike. It's 0-2. Big opportunity here for Alberta to climb back into this ball game. They've got 1 run back, but they have 2 to cash here potentially with 1 away. Runners at second and third and only 1 out. The 0-2 pitch is lined directly to the third baseman, Sam Worth. He hauls it in. No chance, though. The runners very smartly did not get too far off the bag. No chance for the double play. Really well hit ball there by Wheatley, but right at the third baseman. So there are 2 out now, and it'll be Jacob Rubelski, the left fielder.
That seems to be a theme we've seen so far in the past few days. Brian, you were broadcasting last night's game between Oshawa and Quebec, and I'll tell you, I don't think there wasn't a hard hit ball all game. Everything was hit as hard as they can, right in the screws.
Very, very hard hit balls in that game last night, and some great defense by both teams in a very low-scoring game. There weren't a lot of hits, just a lot of really good defense taking away hard hit balls from otherwise would have been base hits. Rubelski looks at a strike there. Count is 1-1. But he really would like to put a ball in play here and get a base hit. That would bring at least 1 more Alberta run in and possibly 2. Runners at second and third. Rubelski, looks at that pitch. It's outside 2-1. If Rubelski is able to reach, Max Hartman awaits on deck. The leadoff hitter, the number 1 hitter, top of the lineup for Alberta. That ball is fouled away. Count is 2-2. Next year, the Ray Carter Cup will be in Alberta, in Okotoks, just south of Calgary. 2-2 pitch, swung on and missed, lunged at by Rubelski. The inning is over. So 1 run in on a sacrifice fly, but they leave a couple of runs. 2 innings complete here at Civic Memorial Stadium, Kinsman Civic Memorial Stadium in Oshawa, Ontario. It is Prince Edward Island 8, Alberta 1. You're watching the live stream broadcast of the Ray Carter Cup. Boys Under 15 Baseball Canada Championships on SportsCanada.TV. We go to the third inning here at Kinsman Civic Memorial Stadium in Oshawa, Ontario. Prince Edward Island leading Alberta by a score of 8-1. Kinsman Civic Memorial Stadium, an old ballpark, beautiful ballpark, fully enclosed with ivy, concrete walls all around it. A very big playing surface, 352 feet down the left field line. Very hard shot to get a ball out of here as a hitter. Right field a little bit shorter at 324 right down the line. We saw moments ago, Jacob, a huge crushed triple by Connor Pote of Alberta. We thought that might have a chance.
Yeah, we haven't seen anything hit that hard. Even into last year's tournament when you and I were broadcasting, we haven't seen something hit that well.
First pitch of the Top of the third for PEI is lifted to center field. That was Chris McDougall, and it is hauled in by Max Hartman in center field. 1 pitch, 1 out. So that'll turn the lineup back over. PEI's leadoff hitter, left fielder Owen Lynch, will come to the plate. He is 0 for 1 in the ball game. Tried to bunt his way on back in the second. He walked and scored back in the first. First pitch from Liam Lewis, the third pitcher of the ball game for Alberta, is a ball. The 1-0 pitch is hit hard to the second baseman under the glove of Joey Gagnon, and it's a base wrap for Owen Lynch. Runner at first now with 1 out for PEI, and that'll bring up center fielder Will Morrison. Good contact on that ball, Jake.
Yeah, I mean, every single time he's been up to the plate, he's hit the ball hard. This is just another example.
Liam Lewis's first pitch to Will Morrison is a ball. Runner at first, 1 away. Runner goes with the pitch. It is popped up. It drops in. They're going to get a force out at second base there, but not a double play for PEI, as that ball just dropped behind the pitcher and in front of the second baseman. So 2 away now with a runner at first, and that will bring up Luke Coughlin, who is 2 for 2 in the ball game, a couple of singles and a couple of runs scored. It's a fielder's choice for Will Morrison. Owen Lynch is forced out at second base. First pitch to Coughlin is a ball. Pitch is low. Count is 2-0 to Luke Coughlin. There's a strike. Count is now 2-1. Center fielder for Alberta now is Ben Oshizaki, so he made the first catch of this inning. There was a defensive replacement between the innings. That ball is hit to the shortstop, and it eats up Jack Wheatley. Took a nasty hop on him, and that will allow Coughlin to get to first. Very hard hit ball, and again, one of those things you don't know whether it's a hit or an error. Pretty close call, but that was a real hard hop.
Well, I think with how the last one was ruled, this one is definitely going to be an error.
So 2 away, runners at first and second for PEI. The batter is Cody McCormick. And he looked like he was going to take a cut at that, let it go, and it drifted outside for ball 1. We're in the top of the third inning here. PEI leading Alberta 8-1. First and second, 2 out. McCormick fouls that to the right side. Moves the count to 1-1. McCormick in this game reached on an error and scored in the first and walked in the second inning. That pitch is outside, 2-1.
Funny enough for all these guys, this is their third plate appearance already.
Yeah, it's not too often you get as a top of the lineup that you get a, if you're up in the first, second, and third innings, you know your team is getting a lot going on. That ball is ripped, a base hit to left field. They will send the runner home from second. Coast play at the plate, and coming in to score is Will Morrison. A single, an RBI single for Cody McCormick, and that makes it 9-1. Luke Coughlin moves up to second on the play. So PEI pouring it on here again with runs in each inning. 5 in the first, 3 in the second, and now 1 here in the third. And they're not done yet.
Certainly doesn't look like it. Grayson Laporte RA 2 for 2 on the day.
So Laporte will swing and foul that away for strike one. Laporte, 1 for 1, reached and scored on a singled and scored in the first, reached on a fielder's choice in the second inning, and later scored. So he's got a couple of runs, and he's got runners at first and second with 2 away here, and his team restoring that 8-run lead. Now 9-1 PEI. Liam Lewis's pitch is taken for a strike. Count is 0-2. Liam Lewis is ready. Here's the 0-2 pitch. It's high. The runners go, and it's a double steal. Luke Coughlin moves up to third. Cody McCormick over to second.
Wow, that was very dangerous right there. Not really a smart play to take the bat out of your four-stick there if he end up getting caught up.
Very aggressive play by PEI, but it pays off for them. Now they have a couple runners in scoring position as Laporte fouls that back out of play. The count remains a ball and 2 strikes. PEI with a run here on 3 hits in the top of the third inning. They've been putting the ball in play. They've come here to hit this morning. There's no question about that. Liam Lewis trying to end this rally. Here's the 1-2 pitch. It is fouled off to the right side. We'll do it again.
Sort of cue balled that one, how that spun right off the bat.
Here's the 1-2. It is lifted to the second baseman. Joey Gagnon gets it, throws it to first to record the out. The inning is over. A run on 3 hits. PEI leaves a couple of runners. We've played 2.5 innings here in Oshawa, Ontario. It is Prince Edward Island 9, Alberta 1. You are watching the live stream broadcast of the Ray Carter Cup Boys Under 15 Baseball Canada Championships on SportsCanada.TV. We go to the bottom of the third inning here, Kinsman Civic Memorial Stadium in Oshawa, Ontario. Brian Oliver along with Jacob Ebbs. We are watching a very challenging game for Alberta so far in the early going. They fell behind with 5 runs in the first inning, gave up 3 in the second to fall behind 8-1. They got 1 back in the bottom of the second, courtesy of a towering triple by Connor Pote, who later scored on a sacrifice fly by Cole Carroll, and that got Alberta on the board. But Prince Edward Island, moments ago, just getting that run back on a fielder's choice, or a single rather, by Cody McCormick that brought in Will Morrison to make it a 9-1 game. So we go to the bottom of the third inning, and the leadoff hitter will be Max Hartman, center fielder for Alberta. And it looks like we have a... Let me just check my numbers here. No, Chris McDougall will stay in the ball game, starting pitcher for PEI. He's been pretty solid. He's given up a run on a couple of hits. And this will be the top of the shop for Alberta here in the third inning. Max Hartman is 0 for 1 in the ball game. He flied out to center field on the very first pitch. So he'll try his luck again here. Wind blowing very strongly in from left field here at Kinsman Stadium. Max Hartman looks at strike 1 from Chris McDougall.
Chris McDougall sitting right now at 41 pitches thrown. At this point, he would have to wait 1 day of rest. The max for this one is 50, so I wonder, will PEI leave him in for 50, or will they leave him longer?
It's true. The pitch counts play a big role in a tournament like this, and you want to try and preserve your pitching as long as you can into the tournament, so that you have your pitchers available on Saturday and Sunday when you get to the playoff games. Count is ball and 2 strikes to Max Hartman, who is the leadoff hitter for Alberta here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Left-handed hitter. And we have a bit of a time called at the moment right now, as there's a delay down the right field line. Now Hartman steps back in, and we're ready to go. McDougall with the 1-2 pitch is taken just low for ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Great eye by Max Hartman there. That probably just missed by an inch, maybe less.
The 2-2 pitch is low. Count runs full. Max Hartman just looking to get on base here and try and get something going for Alberta here in the 3rd inning. They are down by 8 runs. But they've got the 2, 3, 4, 5 hitters coming up. That ball is chopped down the right field line. It's going to be a tough play at first base. And it's a fair ball. And the batter is safe at first. So they weren't able to tag him as Luke Coughlin tried to come up with it and tag Max Hartman as he ran by, but he did not get the tag down. It's a base hit, an infield single for Max Hartman.
I think the first base umpire actually sort of overturned his own call. He was originally out at first, I do believe. And it looks like they're gonna talk this over, see what they saw.
So the umpires are now going to convene and talk about exactly what happened there. The ball was chopped down the first base line, and it was fielded by Luke Coughlin, the first baseman for Prince Edward Island. He got the ball. He tried to tag Max Hartman as he ran past. At the moment, Max Hartman is standing on first base, and they're going to now call it an out. So it's a ground out. And Max Hartman runs back to the Alberta dugout. So Russell Matson will be the batter now. He's 0 for 1 in the ball game. Struck out in the first inning. Prince Edward Island will get together and talk things over on the mound. So we had a very close play at first there, and it's a tough break. It's again one of those bang bang plays where it's to the human eye it's very difficult to decide one way or the other exactly what happened there.
Yeah, it's kind of confusing. I wasn't really sure which way it was going to go. I think it was sort of a 50-50 chance. From our point here along the first baseline, it looked like he was out, plain and simple. However, possibly the first base umpire, and also I guess the home plate umpire as well, had a different, may have had like some contravening views there.
They got it all sorted out, and it's a ground out to first base for Max Hartman. So Russell Matson steps in. Prince Edward Island now ready to go after a quick huddle on the mound. Chris McDougall will face Matson, and he delivers a ball, 1-0. Lots of left-handed hitters in the Alberta lineup here this morning. McDougall's pitch is outside for ball 2, 2-0.
You got to wonder if that little talk on the mound a few moments ago was the coach asking him if he wants to stay in the game or he wants to get pulled now.
And only pulled due to pitch count because he's had a very dandy start here so far in the ball game. Swing and a miss there by Matson, counts 2-1. McDougall hits that down the third base side. Sam Worth comes up with it, throws it over to first, and coming down with it is Luke Coughlin. Had to go up a bit to get it, brought it back down on the bag, and Matson is out, grounding out to third. So 2 away now for Alberta, and we are going to see the pitching change, Jake.
Considering PEI right now is going to have good chance to playoff games, they're going to have to save their pitching as much as possible, especially with having they have a much smaller roster than the other teams, only 15 players, 10 of whom are pitchers.
So McDougall will leave the ball game here with 2 out in the bottom of the 3rd inning. He leaves the game with the bases empty, gave up only 1 run on just 2 hits. So a great start by Chris McDougall, but he is at 50 pitches, and Prince Edward Island looking at conserving him for use later in the tournament. With 50 pitches, he only needs to rest that 1 day and would be available to pitch on Sunday on the final day of the Ray Carter Cup. So that'll bring on a left-hander now for PEI. And as the pitcher gets his warm-ups now, we have not been able to see his jersey number yet. It looks like it's
There's a 9 there.
It's a 39?
39.
39, so that's going to be Miles Grant from Cornwall, PEI. Miles Grant, left-hander coming in. So where's jersey number 39? He comes on to the comes into the game with certainly not a pressure situation. His team is up by 8 and there's nobody on the base paths.
Starter Chris McDougall, 2.1 innings pitched, give 1 hit, 1 run, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts on 50 pitches.
The official scoring on Chris McDougall's pitching line is he gave up just the 1 hit. So the play in the 1st inning that we thought may have been a single was scored an error. So the only hit he gave up was that triple to Connor Pote of Alberta. So there's 2 out. Luke Wilson's the batter now for Alberta. The EH, or extra hitter. We'll try and get something going. He reached on an error. That
one's a ton.
That ball is hit to right center. Both fielders come close to colliding with each other, but it is hauled in by the center fielder. That was Will Morrison making the catch. The inning is over. So it's 3 up, 3 down for Alberta. Here in the 3rd, no runs, nobody left on base. 3 innings complete in Oshawa, Ontario. Prince Edward Island 9, Alberta 1. You are watching the live stream broadcast of the Ray Carter Cup Boys Under 15 Baseball Canada Championships on SportsCanada.TV. We go to the 4th inning here at Kinsman Civic Memorial Stadium, Oshawa, Ontario. Ray Carter Cup Boys Under 15 Baseball Canada Championships, Group B action. This is the 3rd game for each team playing here today, Prince Edward Island and Alberta. PEI in the green jerseys coming up to bat here in the top of the 4th inning. They have a 9-1 lead. Jacob Dunn is the leadoff hitter for PEI in the 4th. He will look at a strike from Liam Lewis. 3rd pitcher of the ball game for Alberta. PEI with 5 runs in the 1st, 3 in the 2nd, and 1 in the 3rd. That ball is fouled to the right side. Count goes to 0-2. Jacob Dunn in this game is 1 for 2. He struck out looking in the 1st, singled in the 2nd. It's been a very busy morning for Prince Edward Island on the sticks. The 0-2 pitch is high for ball 1.
Yeah, needless to say, they certainly have gotten their running in this morning.
9 runs, unofficially on 9 hits. That ball is hit to Joey Gagnon at second base. He'll throw it on to first for the out. Gavin Galenza, correction, is at second base. Joey Gagnon is the first baseman. One away, and it's Nolan Stewart now who is coming into this at bat. He's been up twice. He's walked twice in the ball game. Takes a strike from Liam Lewis.
Wow.
Second pitch is a ball taken, 1-1. That pitch is taken low, 2-1 from Liam Lewis. Nobody on the base pass, one out here in the top of the fourth. Prince Edward Island 9, Alberta 1. The 2-1 pitch is taken for a strike right there. 2-1 to Nolan Stewart. 2-2 pitch is fouled away. Good spoil there by Stewart to stay alive. Count will remain 2-2. Both of these teams will have action later on this afternoon at 4 o'clock Eastern time. As that ball is hit to right field, Carter Anderson, the starting right fielder. That's number 20 who caught that, not number 10.
Now batting third baseman number 6, Sam Worth.
Anyway, it's a fly ball to right field, 2 away. There have been some changes defensively. I think that's Luke Wilson actually now in right field who made that catch. Luke Wilson, who started the game as the extra hitter, the EH, now in right field. So Luke Wilson making that catch. 2 out. The batter is Sam Worth for PEI. He's the third baseman. He's 0 for 2 in the ball game with a ground out and a strikeout. Swings and misses of that pitch. The count is quickly 0-2.
Well, needless to say, in this at bat, Sam Worth has not looked comfortable with either of those two pitches.
Alberta with a chance to put up a 0 on the scoreboard, and they would like nothing more than that right here. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That ball is lunged at to short. Jack Wheatley comes up with it, makes a nice play to first, and gets the out. Nice play by Jack Wheatley at short to end the inning. So, no runs. It's a 3-up, 3-down inning. No runs, no hits, nobody left on base. We've played 3.5 here in Oshawa, Ontario. Prince Edward Island 9, Alberta 1. You're watching the live stream broadcast of the Ray Carter Cup Boys Under 15 Baseball Canada Championships on SportsCanada.TV. Bottom of the fourth inning coming up here in Oshawa, Ontario. Alberta trailing PEI. Alberta is the home team and still have a bit of runway left here to try and climb back into this ball game. They gave up 5 runs in the first, 3 in the second, and 1 in the third, and have a big mountain to climb here as they look to try and get their record to 2 wins and 1 loss in Group B play. Miles Grant will remain on the mound for Prince Edward Island here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Both teams playing right now. We'll have another game this afternoon. Actually, one will play this evening. So Prince Edward Island will play Nova Scotia right here at Kinsman Stadium at 4 o'clock Eastern. That is 5 o'clock Atlantic time. So please join us for that here on SportsCanada.TV. Alberta will wait a couple of hours. They will play tonight. 7 o'clock Eastern time, 5 o'clock Mountain against Manitoba, and that game will take place at Clarington Fields, about 20 minutes east of us here in downtown Oshawa. That game at Clarington tonight, Alberta against Manitoba. Manitoba coming into this morning, the only undefeated team in Group B with a record of 2-0. Both of these teams are 1-1. The leadoff hitter is first baseman Joey Gagnon. He is 0 for 1 in the ball game. He's got a 2-0 count now. In fact, a 3-0 count as that pitch comes in high. Miles Grant, left-hander, in last inning for Chris McDougall, who got up to 50 pitches, and PEI electing to take him out of the game and save him for Sunday. 3-0 pitch is low for ball 4. It's a leadoff walk for Joey Gagnon, and here comes Connor Pote. And we saw him a short time ago, back in his only appearance in the game at the plate, smash a triple to right, almost got out of the park. We're going to see a pinch runner here too, Jake.
Yeah, number 21 is coming in for Alberta. That would put it
Third baseman, number 22, Connor Pope.
Jose Nunez from Chestermere.
So Nunez is the pinch runner for Alberta here. He comes in for Joey Gagnon. And Connor Pote, who we saw this morning, can really hit the ball. Very tall left-handed hitter. Where's jersey number 22 for Alberta? Let's see what happens here as Alberta tries to claw back into this game. They are down by 8 here in the bottom of the 4th inning. The first pitch is taken just above the belt for a ball.
Running on first base, number 21, Jose Nunez.
Connor Pote is the 3rd baseman for Team Alberta, and he will look at a strike. Count is 1-1.
Funny enough, as Connor Pote stepped up to the plate, you could see the outfielders shift off to the right and take quite a few steps backwards.
They'll throw the ball over to first, and it's thrown away. It gets away from Luke Coughlin at first. Nunez will trot down to second. It's a throwing error by Miles Grant, and now a runner in scoring position for Alberta. Didn't really take a good step on that throw over to first, Jake.
No, it didn't even seem like he was looking at the target there.
So Nunez stands on second base now. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 4th. That ball is clobbered to center field, but the wind is going to hold it up. Nunez is going to tag and go to third. We're going to have a play at third. It bounces away. Nunez is going to try and score. We're going to have a play at home. That ball bounces away, and Nunez scores. So it's an out. Connor Pote is retired on the fly ball. Tagging and coming to third. The ball gets away at third. The ball gets away again at home. It's a 9-2 ball game.
Looking at all this, my only concern at this point is I believe the runner at second base for Alberta, he might have taken off just a bit early.
Well, let's see what we got here. 1 away. It's a 9-2 ball game, and it will be Gavin Galenza. So a couple of errors there by Prince Edward Island on the defense as the ball got away at third and at home. And Galenza will come up. He has a walk in this ball game. He was the starting pitcher for Alberta this morning. Now playing at second base on the defensive side. The count is 0-1. Pitch is high for a ball, 1-1. So Nunez scoring that run on what turned out to be 3 errors. First off by the pitcher, allowing Nunez to get to second base, and then 2 throwing errors by PEI, allowing Nunez to score. It's a 9-2 ball game. Galenza looks at that pitch. The count now 3 balls and a strike. And Miles Grant trying to keep his team well ahead in this ball game. That pitch is taken for a strike. Just on the outside corner. Galenza will have to go back. The count is full. Yeah, that was a close play, Jake. I think that when that ball was caught in center field, certainly he left very, very quickly. Ball is low for a walk, so Galenza trots down to first. But yeah, it was close. It would have been interesting to see if had they appealed on that. Prince Edward Island, I mean.
Yeah, they appealed the first one. I believe it was in the first inning. However, could have just been a very quick takeoff and go.
So that brings up Cole Carroll, first baseman, or started as the first baseman for Alberta in this game. He has a sac fly in this game, knocked in the first run back in the second inning. Miles Grant checks the runner. Galenza back to first. It's a 9-2 ball game, bottom of the 4th inning. Alberta trailing now by 7. Ball is taken for a ball on the outside, so it's 1-0. Cole Carroll from Calgary. We'll look at that pitch outside. It's 2-0. Alberta, again, just looking for base runners here, and hopefully get somebody to knock a few of them in to claw into this big Prince Edward Island lead here. PEI just wanting to keep a good distance. That ball is in the dirt. 3-0.
Yeah, Alberta is really starting to chip into this lead. They still got a long way to go, but this is a great start for them so far.
One away here. Runner at first for Alberta. The count is 3-0 to Cole Carroll, and he'll look at a strike, taking all the way. PEI with 5 in the first, 3 in the second, and 1 in the third. Alberta with runs in the second and 1 here so far in the fourth. That pitch is high for ball 4. 2 consecutive walks now, and that puts runners at first and second with 1 away. And that's going to bring out coaching staff from Prince Edward Island to talk things over here, as when you get those walks, it kind of sets the table for trouble, as Liam Lewis will come up to the plate in a moment's time for Alberta.
You got to think, even though you're against the bottom line, you may be thinking, all right, that's fine. You know, if I walk a few guys, just get a ground ball and get out of this. But when you're dealing with, such high-level competition, it really doesn't matter where in the lineup you are. Every single 1 through 9, 1 through 10, they can all hit the ball.
Yeah, these are some of the best, obviously 15U players in the country. They all can play. They're all excellent athletes. They're all excellent baseball players. 3 walks issued in this inning so far by Miles Grant. One of them came in to score. Now there are runners at first and second with 1 out. That ball hits Liam Lewis. That will load the bases with 1 away. So it's a hit by pitch. Liam Lewis goes down to first. Carroll moves over to second, and Gavin Galenza now at third.
With all this in mind, you got to wonder. Oh, never mind. They maybe changed them now, actually.
Jack Wheatley will be the batter for Alberta. Shortstop has a bat in his hand, and that is going to be it for Miles Grant. So he will come out of the ball game. He came on in the third, got a fly ball out to end that inning, but here in the fourth, gave up 3 walks and hit a batter and has given up a run. He did get 1 out, so the bases are loaded with 1 out for Alberta here in the bottom of the fourth in a 9-2 game, but a base wrap here for Alberta will bring that gap a lot closer, Jake.
Mm-hmm. This is a great opportunity for Alberta here. They have to capitalize here if they want to get back into this game. If they get out of this with only getting 1 run and not leaving all these runners on, it could spell the end of them.
So it'll be a right-hander, Declan Campbell coming on from Tyne Valley, PEI, student at West Isle Composites High School, grade 10 student, will come on to throw from the right side. So Declan Campbell will try to douse the Flames here in the bottom of the fourth inning. 1 run in already for Alberta. They have the bases loaded with 1 out.
Now pitching for PEI, number 29, Declan Campbell. Miles Grant ends at 21 pitches.
So big opportunity here for Alberta. Alberta again 1-1 coming into the game today. They were 3-0 winners yesterday over Nova Scotia, and they lost a 3-0 decision to New Brunswick. After today's game, this morning's game against PEI, they will take on Manitoba later this afternoon. That'll be a 7 o'clock Eastern start, 5 o'clock Mountain Time for our viewers in Alberta. So here we go. Declan Campbell's ready. And so is Jack Wheatley. He'll be the batter from the right side for Alberta. Bases loaded, 1 out. First pitch from Campbell is taken for a ball, 1-0. Alberta with 3 walks here and a hit batter so far in the fourth inning. That pitch is high for ball 2. 2-0 to Jack Wheatley. That ball is very high. Ball 3. 3 balls and no strikes, and no place to put Jack Wheatley here, Jake.
Yeah, this is the worst case scenario right now for Campbell.
Here comes the 3-0 pitch. It is taken inside, a 4-pitch walk, and that's a bases-loaded walk. It brings home the 3rd Alberta run. It is now a 9-3 ball game, and we're going to see Ben Hoshizaki batting for Alberta here. Ben Hoshizaki.
Now batting center fielder number 11, Ben Hoshizaki.
1 out here, bases loaded. Hoshizaki facing Declan Campbell, who just came into the ball game. That pitch is high. Ball 1. 5 straight balls for Declan Campbell so far since coming into the game.
If I was PEI, I'd be incredibly nervous right now. Alberta's in the driver's seat right now.
That pitch is high for ball 2. 2-0.
6 straight.
Ben Hoshizaki with an opportunity here to get his team back into the ball game. It is now a 9-3 score. A 6-run lead for PEI, but the bases are loaded here with 1 out. The 2-0 pitch is taken for a strike. So the 7th pitch by Declan Campbell is a strike. Hoshizaki was taking that one all the way, it looked like. Just waiting to see a strike before taking a cut. There's the ball. It is hit to second base, and it's through for a base hit. That will score 1 run, and it will score a 2nd run. It is a 2-run single for Ben Hoshizaki, and guess what? It's now a 9-5 ball game. Still only 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Runners at 1st and 2nd, and that turns the lineup over for Max Hartman, the center fielder.
I'll tell you, I was assuming just with 6 straight balls to that point. Assume he wouldn't be really swinging at the second one, just saying, hey, maybe it's a fluke. However, he got one right down the middle and crushed it right back where it came from. Great piece of hitting.
So 4 runs in here for Alberta. Declan Campbell's pitch is low, the first offering to center fielder Max Hartman. He is 0 for 2 in the ball game. Flied out to center, grounded out to first on a close play at first back in the 3rd inning. All of a sudden, the tying run is on deck here for Alberta. They're going to check the runner back to first. He was not going to be going anywhere, and it's an error as the ball gets away. The runners move up to 2nd and 3rd. Interesting decision to throw over to first when you've got runners at 1st and 2nd, unless there was a double steal they were anticipating.
I'm still trying to figure out exactly what happened there. Yeah, no, I'm at a loss here.
So that allows Ben Hoshizaki to move up to 2nd, and Jack Wheatley, who had earlier walked, he's now on 3rd base. So 2 runners in scoring position, 1 away here in the Alberta 4th inning. It is 9-5. And Max Hartman with a base hit could get this down to a 2-run deficit. It was 9-1 just a few minutes ago. The 1-0 pitch is very high for ball 2. 2-0. Alberta also with their 2, 3, and 4 hitters coming up after Max Hartman. So the heart of the order for Alberta here. This is a high-pressure situation for PEI, which had a big 8-run lead. There's a strike. Declan Campbell gets it to 2 balls and 1 strike against Max Hartman.
If you're the PEI coaching staff right now, you really got to get yourself out of this jam right now. You do not want the 2, 3, 4 coming up, especially considering the tying run is on deck.
That pitch was very high, ball 3. 3 balls and a strike to Max Hartman. If he is able to reach, Russell Matson is the batter on deck. He's the catcher. That pitch very high for ball 4. No doubt about that one. So the bases are loaded again. And that brings up Russell Matson, the catcher. Jersey number 5. He's 0 for 2 in the ball game, but with a huge opportunity to get Alberta back into this game. That's a 9-5 deficit, but but a base hit will really tighten the gap.
When you're looking at the PEI roster at this point, you got to be very careful about what you're going to do here. Only have 10 pitchers on their roster at this point, and they've gone through 3 so far. They went through, I believe, 5 or 6 yesterday. So really, you're starting to come down to the wire at this point.
Chris McDougall started this game and gave up just 1 run on 1 hit through 2 2/3 innings. Got to 50 pitches, and PEI elected to take him out of the ball game at that point to preserve his capacity to be able to pitch later in the tournament due to pitch count regulations. They're going to take the pitcher out here. So Declan Campbell is coming out, and we're going to see another pitcher for PEI momentarily. In this inning, though, there have been 5 walks issued, by PEI pitching. 5 walks. There's been a hit batter, just 1 hit. That was by Ben Hoshizaki. That was a 2-run single to make it a 9-5 ball game. Bases are loaded here, and the tying run is at the plate for Alberta here in the bottom of the 4th inning. And taking warm-ups now for Prince Edward Island is
Colby Huggan, I believe.
Colby Huggan of Charlottetown. He will come into the ball game. Often plays shortstop, but main position listed as shortstop. His secondary position is pitcher, and he comes in a huge situation here in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Incredibly tough spot for Huggan here, facing the number 2 hitter, an offensively strong lineup. He really needs to make sure he capitalizes here.
Now pitcher PEI number 9, Colby Huggan.
So Colby Huggan throws from the right side.
Declan Campbell ends with 13 pitches.
Colby Huggan from Charlottetown, and a student at Charlottetown Rural Senior High School, as are a few of his teammates. Sam Worth also goes there, as does Ethan Smith. Bases loaded for Alberta. Just 1 out here. Only the single out in this inning. And that was Connor Pote, their power hitter, who flied out to center field.
And it wasn't even a regular fly out. He hit that ball pretty hard.
Huggan's first pitch is just outside for a ball to Russell Matson. As I mentioned, 0 for 2 in the ball game. Struck out, grounded out to third. He will look at a strike. Count is 1-1. (9-5) PEI with the lead. Pitch is lifted to left field. That probably will be deep enough to get a sacrifice fly. It is caught by Owen Lynch in left field. The ball comes home, and it's a sac fly as Jack Wheatley comes home from third. It's a 9-6 ball game, and right back in the ball game is Alberta now, trailing just by 3, and we're still only in the 4th inning.
Great piece of hitting nonetheless from Russell Watson there.
So it's a sac fly, second sac fly of the game for Alberta. That'll bring up Luke Wilson, the EH or extra hitter. Or started in that position, now playing defensively. Wilson is hit by that pitch. Gets him on the leg or on the knee, and that loads the bases again. It's a bat around inning, and we're going to see Joey Gagnon come back into the ball game. He walked to lead off this inning and was later replaced by Jose Nunez as a pinch runner, who later scored. But Joey Gagnon will re-enter the game here for a second at bat of the inning. Bases loaded. The tying run now at first for Alberta. Joey Gagnon, he's the cleanup hitter, looks at a strike from Colby Huggan. That pitch is lifted to right field. It drops. Second baseman does not have a play. And guess what? 2 runs are coming in. It's an infield single for Joey Gagnon, as Cody McCormack was not able to catch it. The ball just dipped away from him, and then he wasn't able to come up with it quickly enough. All the base runners were moving at high speed runner from third scores. That was Ben Hoshizaki, and then Max Hartman came all the way on from second, and it's 9-8.
Holy moly.
9-8 is the score now. 2 out, tying run is now at second base. Runners at first and second with 2 out, and here's Connor Pote. Connor Pote fouls that back out of play. The count is a ball and a strike to Connor Pote. He has tripled and scored in this game and flied out to center field. But he has a chance to tie the game here in the fourth inning. It was 9-1 coming into this inning, but 7 runs for Alberta so far with 2 out. Big swing there by Connor Pote. And the count is 1-2. Luke Wilson is the runner at second. Joey Gagnon at first base. Pitch is taken for strike 3 called. The inning is over. Connor Pote looked at one right down the middle. The inning is over. 7 runs for Alberta here in the bottom of the fourth inning, and we've played 4 complete innings here at Kinsman Civic Memorial Stadium in a real slugfest now as an offensive explosion has brought this game very close. It is Prince Edward Island 9, Alberta 8. You are watching the live stream broadcast of the Ray Carter Cup Boys Under 15 Baseball Canada Championships on SportsCanada.TV. We go to the 5th inning here at Kinsman Civic Memorial Stadium, Oshawa, Ontario. Glad you could join us for this Group B game between Prince Edward Island and Alberta. It was all Prince Edward Island in the early going as they built a 9-1 lead, but Alberta answers with 7 runs on just 1 hit in the bottom of the 4th inning to make it a 9-8 ball game. So we're almost back to square one here. Brian Oliver along with Jacob Ebbs as Prince Edward Island now comes up to bat in the top of the 5th inning. They are the visiting team in this game. They had things under control, but now they're going to have to get things going back on the offensive side of things. And Colby Huggan, the new pitcher for PEI, will be the leadoff hitter.
Yeah, needless to say, that was one heck of an inning. Just heard from our score booth over down third baseline. 7 runs on just 1 hit.
So Liam Lewis, who came onto the game trailing by 8 runs, now comes back into the game trailing by only 1 run in the 5th inning here for Alberta playing defense. They are the home team. Liam Lewis will see that ball hit to second baseman. Gavin Galenza will come up and throw out the runner. 1 away. Turns over the lineup to Owen Lynch. Owen Lynch is the left fielder. In this ball game, he is 1 for 2. He has singled. He has tried to bunt. He was thrown out on that. And he also walked and scored in the 1st inning. He pops this one up behind first base, and it is caught by Gavin Galenza for the 2nd out of the inning. So quickly 2 up and 2 away here for PEI in the top of the 5th inning. And it'll be Will Morrison. He has scored 3 runs in this game. He has scored every time he's come to the plate so far in the game. He is 2 for 2 and also has a fielder's choice. 3 runs scored. He swings and misses at the first pitch from Liam Lewis for strike 1. PEI trying to turn the momentum again. They had everything going their way early on. That ball is grounded to first, and it's just going to go foul. Count is 0-2. Amazing how you can see the fortunes change in a baseball game.
Yeah, you know what? Little quote from Moneyball. How can you not be romantic about baseball? It is going back and forth here. And crazy how Alberta's come back.
Will Morrison spoils that pitch to stay alive at 0-2. But the mindset changes. You're up 9-1. You think things are going fine. You take your pitcher who started the game doing really, really well, and you're trying to preserve him for Sunday. But the pitchers that came behind him were not able to really get the job done in the same way, and now you're all of a sudden in a ball game.
Yeah, it's always a gamble when you're taking a guy out who's found his groove and he keeps going.
That ball is put into play, and it goes off the pitcher. A very tough play for Liam Lewis, and he's not able to come up with it. It's an infield single for Will Morrison, and that's his, I believe that would be called a hit. It was a fieldable ball, perhaps.
Yeah.
We call it a hit?
Yeah, I would call that a hit there. That was kind of a tough play there.
So a base runner for PEI. PEI in the green jerseys, Alberta in the black jerseys. And it's Luke Coughlin. He's 3 for 3 in the ball game. 3 hits, 2 runs scored, and looking to put his team back on the board here in the top half of the 5th inning. Luke Coughlin with a runner here at first base. That ball is hit to second base. Galenza is there with it and will throw over to first to end the inning. So that's a turn away for Prince Edward Island. They leave a base runner. There was 1 hit and no runs scored. We've played 4.5 innings here at Kinsman Civic Memorial Stadium in Oshawa, Ontario. Prince Edward Island 9, Alberta 8. You are watching the live stream broadcast of the Ray Carter Cup Boys Under 15 Baseball Canada Championships on SportsCanada.TV. We're getting ready to go to the bottom of the 5th inning here in Oshawa, Ontario, Kinsman Civic Memorial Stadium, the Ray Carter Cup Boys Under 15 Baseball Canada Championships. This is a Group B game between Alberta and Prince Edward Island, and the pendulum has swung back and forth in this game. PEI built a 9-1 lead, but Alberta scored 7 in the bottom of the 4th inning to make it 9-8. 7 runs coming on just 1 hit. There were a ton of walks. There was a couple of hit batters, and Alberta climbing back into the ball game here as they come up in the home half of the 5th, trailing 9-8. Gavin Galenza will be the leadoff hitter for Alberta. The right-handed hitter has walked twice in this ball game in his 2 plate appearances and has scored a run. Galenza looks at that pitch high, count is 1-1. Colby Huggan is the pitcher now for PEI, 4th pitcher of the game. That ball is fouled and comes right at us here in our our announce booth area, just off the fence. Count is 1-2 now to Gavin Galenza. Beautiful morning here in Oshawa. Bit of a breeze though from left to right. The wind is blowing in, so the ball is not going to carry very well to left field in this situation as Galenza takes a heavy cut at that, swings through it for a strikeout. First out of the inning. That'll bring up first baseman Cole Carroll.
Yeah, certainly. That was not the stay alive swing. That was a swing that you're going to try and put it 20 feet past the fence.
So that's the 2nd strikeout of the game for Colby Huggan. He did strike out Connor Pote to end the 4th inning, struck him out looking to end that 7-run Alberta 4th inning. First pitch to Cole Carroll is a ball. It's high. Cole Carroll in this game has a sacrifice fly, and he walked and scored in the 4th. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. PEI with a 1-run lead here as we play in the bottom of the 5th inning. Both teams 1-1. This is a huge game for each team as they try to get to 2 wins and 1 loss in Group B play. Carroll looks at that pitch for strike 2, 1-2. Colby Huggan, right-hander, looks in for the sign. He's got it, fires it, and strikes out. Cole Carroll swinging. 3 consecutive strikeouts now for Colby Huggan. 2 out here in the bottom of the 5th inning, and it will be the pitcher Liam Lewis for Alberta, batting from the left side. Real good job here by Colby Huggan to start this inning.
Yeah, you know what? He's sticking almost entirely with the fastball. He realizes he's blowing hitters away basically with the fastball, and he's sticking with it.
First pitch strike to Liam Lewis. Count is 0-1. 2 out, nobody on here for Alberta in the bottom of the 5th. There's a swing and a miss for strike 2. Colby Huggan, a pitch away from striking out the side here. He struck out 3 consecutive batters. Here's the 0-2 pitch. It's high, ball 1. All of the outs he's recorded so far have been strikeouts. He will throw the ball in to the plate. Grayson Laporte will throw him a new ball as they change things with the umpire, and Geneviève Gabory will throw the ball over to the right side. We're ready to go. The count is 1-2 here now against Liam Lewis. 2 out, nobody on for Alberta. That ball is fouled to the left side. We'll do it again. Alberta hoping to continue striking while the iron is hot. They put up 7 back in the 4th inning, but have not been able to get a base runner on yet here in the 5th. Huggan's pitch is hit to second baseman Cody McCormack. He'll throw it over to first, and it's a 3-up, 3-down inning for Alberta. Great job by PEI on the defensive side of things. No runs, no hits, nobody left on base. 5 innings complete rather. Here in Oshawa, Ontario, Prince Edward Island 9, Alberta 8. You're watching the live stream broadcast of the Ray Carter Cup. Boys under 15, Baseball Canada Championships on SportsCanada.TV. We go to the 6th inning here at Kinsman Civic Memorial Stadium, Oshawa, Ontario. Brian Oliver along with Jacob Ebbs. We are enjoying a back and forth game here between Prince Edward Island and Alberta. Group B action of the Ray Carter Cup Boys Under 15 Baseball Canada Championships on SportsCanada.TV. Both teams 1-1 in play so far in the tournament, and a 9-1 lead for Prince Edward Island is now just a 9-8 lead as we go to the top of the 6th inning. Cody McCormack will be the batter to start things off for PEI here as they look to get back on the offense. They scored 5 runs in the first, 3 in the second, 1 in the third to build up a 9-1 lead. Alberta answered with 7 runs of their own back in the 4th. Neither team was able to score in the 5th. We go to the 6th now. Cody McCormack in this game reached on an error and scored in the 1st. He looks at ball 1 there. He walked in the 2nd and singled and knocked in a run. What is the differential run in this game right now, back in the 3rd inning, and he leads off the 6th inning with a single to left field right between the hole at short, between short and 3rd. That's a big start, Jake, for PEI.
Cody McCormack, these 2 days have shown he's been a really formidable force in a lineup, really key part of the PEI batting order.
So that brings up Grayson Laporte, the catcher. First pitch is in the dirt. Nice block by the catcher, Russell Matson, to keep that from going away. This is a big run potentially here for PEI, an insurance run at first base in the form of Cody McCormack. Laporte is 1 for 3 in the ball game. He's singled. He's scored a couple of runs, reached on a fielder's choice. Count is 1-0. Pitch is low and away, 2-0. Liam Lewis came on to this game with a 9-1 deficit, but is now pitching in a nail-biter as his team has got him back in the ball game. 2-0 pitch is taken for a strike, just above the belt. Cody McCormack is the runner at first. We'll keep an eye on him to see if he's going to try and take off here and start anything. We haven't seen a lot of that. Well, that ball is going to be second base. It's going to be a force out at second. They throw it over to first. The ball is high as Joey Gagnon had to go up high to bring it down, and it's a fielder's choice. So one away. Cody McCormack is out at second. Grayson Laporte will take his place now at first. And here comes Jacob Dunn, the shortstop.
That was a really tough play there by the Alberta shortstop. If he would have made that play, that would have deflated PEI most certainly.
Jack Wheatley making that play behind second base, and tell you what, that ball was hit pretty hard. Had he not been able to come up with it, it would have been 2 runners on with nobody out. As it stands, it's a runner at first with 1 away. Jacob Dunn, the batter. Count is 0-1. Runner goes. They will throw down to second. It's high. His back tag does not work. It's a stolen base for Grayson Laporte. And the count is 1-1 to Jacob Dunn. So a runner in scoring position now for PEI here in the top of the 6th inning.
That runner on second base, Grayson Laporte, that is crucial. It is PEI's main goal right now, just to score him and get him that little bit of extra cushion at this point.
Dunn is 1 for 3 in the ball game. He has a single, a strikeout, and a ground out. He will look at that pitch outside. 2-1. Grayson Laporte is at second base. Russell Matson is going to come out and talk to Liam Lewis about things right now. As Alberta does, they've done a job to get back into this ball game, but they don't want to make their deficit large again. They were down by 8. They are only down by a single run right now here in the 6th inning. Count is 2-1 to Jacob Dunn. He will look at a ball. 3-1. Nolan Stewart is on deck for Prince Edward Island. 3-1 to Jacob Dunn. 9-8 PEI here as we play in the top of the 6th. Lewis will step off. And once again, the catcher is going to go out and talk to his pitcher. And Jack Wheatley, the shortstop, is also going to come in and talk about things here. So they want to make sure they know what they're doing here. With the ball in play, they want to try and keep that PEI runner at second base if at all possible. Now we're ready to go. It's a 3-1 count to Jacob Dunn. 1 away here in the PEI 6th inning. They're going to throw it back to second to try the pickoff, and just back in time. Grayson Laporte just gets a hand in there. That was a good move. That
was a great move. You could have possibly seen that coming when the shortstop came in there. Play could still be on at this point. We'll see what they do here.
They didn't like the lead that Laporte had at second base. Probably has a little bit of a shorter lead now. Lewis will come to the plate with this, though. It takes a ball. It's a walk just outside, and it's a walk for Jacob Dunn. So now first and second with 1 away, and that will bring up the right fielder, Nolan Stewart. He's 0 for 1 in the game with a couple of walks. So PEI with a couple of base runners here, Jake, as the wheels begin to turn.
It's a big moment for PEI here. They need to score at least 1 here just to give themselves that cushion.
Lewis's pitch is swung on a miss for strike 1. Big cut by Nolan Stewart. As mentioned, a couple of walks. He walked in the first and in the second. He flied out in the 4th. Count is 0-1 to Nolan Stewart. Pitch is taken, just missing for ball 1. Grayson Laporte at second. Jacob Dunn is the base runner at first. 9-8 is the score in favor of Prince Edward Island here in the top of the 6th. A wild game. Liam Lewis will fire that in, and it's low and inside. And Alberta appealing in case he didn't check his swing there. He just tried to keep his balance and keep out of the way of the ball, I think, there. The count is 2 balls and a strike. Alberta with activity in their bullpen right now. As Liam Lewis tries to keep his team within 1 run of Prince Edward Island.
Lewis also at 50 pitches now.
The 2-1 pitch is fouled to the left side. That runs it to 2-2.
That was Liam Lewis's 60th pitch.
Oh, 60th, my apologies.
60 pitches.
Big pitch here.
Count is 2-2 to Nolan Stewart. Pitch is taken, called, strike 3. Nolan Stewart retired, looked at strike 3. There are 2 out. And that will bring up Sam Worth. Sam Worth is the third baseman for PEI. He's 0 for 3 in the ball game. Couple of ground outs to short, and he is struck out. Big situation for him, though, here as he tries to extend his team's lead. They are up by a single run, 9-8, here in the top of the 6th inning. Liam Lewis's pitch is in there for a strike. 0-1. Laporte at second. Dunn at first for PEI. Lewis, the Alberta pitcher, was about to throw, and then time was called at the plate. Will reset. Count is 0-1. Prince Edward Island in the green jerseys. That pitch is taken for a strike. 0-2. Liam Lewis now at 63 pitches for Alberta, reaching another threshold very shortly in terms of days of rest needed in terms of pitching. Here's the 0-2 pitch. It is fouled on a check swing. Count remains 0-2. Once you get to 65 pitches, Jake, you need 2 days of rest. Or sorry, once you get to 66 pitches, you need 3 days of rest. So he would be not able to pitch in the rest of the tournament because we're already at Friday.
Exactly. This is going to be a big pitch here. This is going to be his last one, I do believe. If he can get him out here.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. The inning is over. Prince Edward Island turned away. They leave a couple of runners. There was a walk and a base hit and a stolen base, but no runs for PEI. We've played 5.5 innings at Kinsman Civic Memorial Stadium, Oshawa, Ontario. Prince Edward Island 9, Alberta 8. You're watching the live stream broadcast of the Ray Carter Cup Boys Under 15 Baseball Canada Championships on SportsCanada.TV. We're about to go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Alberta trailing Prince Edward Island here at the Ray Carter Cup, 9-8. The sponsors for this broadcast and the tournament itself, MLB, Major League Baseball, the Toronto Blue Jays, Baseball Canada, Dairy Queen, Kahuniverse Sports Group, Rawlings, Mizuno, SportsCanada.TV, Durham College, Residence Conference Centers, GCBS Group of Companies, Play It Again Sports, TorontoCharters.com, and MyCore Insurance. Brian Oliver along with Jacob Ebbs here in Oshawa, Ontario. Glad you could join us for this back and forth game between Prince Edward Island and Alberta. Now PEI has led the whole way. They did score 5 in the first, 3 in the second, 1 in the third to build a 9-1 lead. Alberta answered with 7 in the bottom of the fourth, and that's where we currently stand, going to the bottom of the 6th inning. PEI clinging to a 1-run lead. Colby Huggan will stay in the ball game as the PEI pitcher, and Jack Wheatley will come to the plate. The shortstop for Alberta will lead things off. He is 0 for 1 in the ball game. He walked and scored in that 7-run fourth inning for Alberta. Right-handed hitter will look at a pitch inside, ball 1. Alberta did not, after their 7-run inning back in the fourth, in the fifth, they were 3 up, 3 down. That pitch, believed, hit Wheatley in the helmet. It's a hit batter, and the tying run is Wheatley, and he goes down to first base. A hit by pitch to start the inning.
Well, I guess when you're down by 1, you're going to take them any way they come, right?
When you're down by 1, you just want to get on base. We are late in the game. It is the bottom of the 6th inning. Alberta is the home team, so they have 2 cracks at it here, if you will. And Ben Hoshizaki will come to the plate. Center fielder. That pitch is in there for a strike from Colby Huggan. Ben Hoshizaki singled in his only plate appearance of the ball game, and he knocked in a couple of runs. The only hit in that 7-run inning for Alberta. That is a base hit to right field, as Hoshizaki goes 2 for 2 now, and he moves Jack Wheatley over to second base. Runners at first and second for Alberta here in the bottom of the 6th inning, and nobody out, and that turns the lineup over to the leadoff hitter, center fielder number 14, Max Hartman.
2 quality at-bats from Hoshizaki here. Great work turning it back over, putting them in a great spot to tie this game up.
Hartman in left field, correction. Started in center, but now in left field for Alberta. He tries to bunt and fouls it away. Definitely a bunting situation here when you've got runners at first and second. You're down a run. You've got runners at first and second, so the tying run at second right now and the go-ahead run at first.
Very typically as well, your leadoff man is also one of your fastest guys. So bunting here isn't really such a bad idea as he lays one down here.
That ball is down, and it's going to drop in, and no play at all for Sam Worth, the third baseman. Could not come up with it. Perfect bunt by Max Hartman. The bases are loaded, nobody out, and it's Russell Matson coming to the plate.
You kind of saw as well that the pitcher there was just watching it, and it finished just right on the line. That was a perfect bunt.
Russell Matson 0 for 2 in the ball game. He had a sac fly back in the fourth in that 7-run inning. Bases loaded, nobody out. Colby Huggan's opening pitch is a ball. Tying run at third here, Jake. Sorry.
No, sorry. He could turn this whole thing around right here, just come in clutch here with a base hit or even a fly ball at this point.
The 1-0 pitch is taken for a strike, 1-1. Colby Huggan came into the ball game in that big Alberta fourth inning. Retired the side 3 up, 3 down in the fifth. That ball is lofted to center field.
Tagging.
It will be caught. They will throw it in. It looks like a sac fly here, and the bounces at the plate and gets away from the catcher. Will Morrison threw it in. It bounced away from Grayson Laporte. It's a sac fly, and the game is tied 9-9 here in the bottom of the 6th. Sac fly, second sac fly of the game for Russell Matson. The runners all move up on that as well.
What a great piece of hitting there.
So Luke Wilson will now come to the plate. He is 1 for 2 in the ball game. He singled, correction, he's 0 for 2 in the ball game. Reached on an error and was hit by a pitch in the fourth inning. Now has the go-ahead run at third. Runners at second and third, 1 out in a tie ball game here in the 6th inning. He will look at strike 1. Luke Wilson with a chance to put Alberta in front. They were down 9-1 in this ball game. It is now 9-9.
Obviously, of course, PEI, their infield is in, their outfield is at a reasonable depth.
That ball is popped up, and it may be playable for Grayson Laporte, and he hauls it in for a huge out. 2 away. The game remains tied. Luke Wilson fouls out to the catcher. 2 away.
Now batting first base, number 16, Joey Gagnon.
So Joey Gagnon will come in now, playing first base for Alberta. And PEI is going to talk about this situation here. Joey Gagnon will come into the game. He is 1 for 2, has a single, and he walked and scored in the 4th inning. PEI making sure that they know what they're doing defensively here with 2 away. I'm wondering that, that could have been a bunt situation or a squeeze situation with the game tied and the go-ahead run at third, but Luke Wilson popped out, or fouled out.
Mm-hmm. I think like what they're going over right now is if they want to walk this guy here, Joey Gagnon here, he does not have a hit to this point. I do believe my score is correct.
Gagnon, I have him down with a single in the 4th inning, but maybe that was a walk.
That was walk, but
it must have been a walk because there was only the 1 hit in that inning, back in the 7-run inning for Alberta. So Gagnon will look at the first pitch. It's a ball. Alberta with runners at 2nd and 3rd here with 2 away in the bottom of the 6th inning. They have erased a 9-1 deficit to tie the game. Gagnon takes ball 2. And waiting on deck is Connor Pote, who hit a towering triple back in the 2nd inning when the game was not close. That pitch is in there for a strike. 2-1. This is a huge at-bat in the ball game here, Jake, as Colby Huggan tries to keep the game tied. The 2-1 pitch swung on and missed for strike 2. Fastball against a power hitter. Huggan wins that battle. The count is now 2-2.
You can hear the stadium start to get a little bit more excited. This is going to be one of the biggest pitches here.
2-2 pitch is taken. Strike 3 called. The inning is over, and Colby Huggan strands the go-ahead run at third base. We're at 6 innings complete now and a tie ball game. Alberta 9, Prince Edward Island 9. You are watching the live stream broadcast of the Ray Carter Cup Boys Under 15 Baseball Canada Championships on SportsCanada.TV. So we go to the 7th inning here in Oshawa, Ontario. Brian Oliver along with Jacob Ebbs. Kinsman Civic Memorial Stadium. Group B action between Prince Edward Island and Alberta. And what a game this has been. It's been a wild one. We go to the 7th inning in a 9-9 tie. Prince Edward Island led this game at one point 9-1. But Alberta scored in the 4th inning scored 7 runs. And in the bottom of the 6th inning plated another run to tie the game. They left runners at 2nd and 3rd in the bottom of the 6th inning. So it's a tie ball game. We go to the 7th inning. Alberta and PEI in a 9-9 tie. And the leadoff hitter in this inning will be Colby Huggan, currently the pitcher for PEI. Bats from the left side against Liam Lewis. The first pitch is in there for a strike. Liam Lewis came into the game for Alberta when his team was down by 8. He is now in a position to potentially win this game. Pitch to his counterpart, Colby Huggan, is a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Colby Huggan looking to get on base and get things started here. PEI, by the way, left 2 runners on back in the 6th. That is hit to the second base side, and that is thrown away. Thrown away. Galvin Galenza threw it to first. Liam Lewis was trying to come over and cover it, but he threw it too far in front of him, and that ball is thrown away, but it's not an error. It's just the batter only gets to first base there. Did not advance to second base. Maybe that would be scored an error. That was a tough play for the pitcher. He was running over.
I believe so. I feel like it's sort of a 50-50. Wait for the scorer to see what he thinks of that one.
Bunt, their attempt. They throw down to first, snapback throw. Colby Huggan is back in. Owen Lynch is the batter right now, and it's a bunting situation as Prince Edward Island will look to get the go-ahead run over to second base here in the top of the 7th inning. Owen Lynch is the batter. He is 1 for 3 in the ball game. He is a single. He has walked and he scored a run. This time he gets the bunt down and it's in play. Perfect sacrifice bunt. Liam Lewis makes a beautiful throw to first this time to get the out. It's a sacrifice bunt. Colby Huggan now to second base. The go-ahead run at second with 1 away.
And we just heard now that this is Lewis's 70th pitch coming up here. At this point, they're probably either going to max him out or leave him at 8 pitches, so he's going to be out for 3 days. I think he's going to be going to the max, though, considering.
Yeah, I think they will leave him in here. He's done an amazing job. He's not given up anything since coming into the ball game. So it's the go-ahead run at second for PEI here, top of the 7th, 1 away. The batter is Will Morrison, and Will Morrison has had a great game. He will look at strike 1. Morrison is 3 for 4. 3 singles. He reached on a fielder's choice as well in the ball game. He's been on base every time. He's scored 3 runs in the game. The center fielder with a chance to put his team in front again here in the top of the 7th inning. Time is called. Colby Huggan is the base runner for PEI at second. He reached on an infield single or perhaps an error depending on how it was scored. Close play at first base, but that pitch is outside to Will Morrison. The count is 1-1. Now PEI will have to keep an eye on their base runner here. If there is a ball in play, Colby Huggan may be trying to score on a base hit here to try and put his team out in front, depending on how far it's hit. Count is 1-1 to Will Morrison. That ball is hit to center field. It's right at Ben Hoshizaki in center field. He hauls it in for the second out of the inning. So 2 away now, and that brings up Luke Coughlin, who is 3 for 4 in the game as well. 3 singles, 2 runs scored. Number 3 hitter for PEI, and a big opportunity here for his team. And Alberta's coaching staff is going to come out and they're going to talk about this situation here. The score is 9-9, top of the 7th inning here in Oshawa, Ontario. Luke Coughlin will talk with the third base coach as well as we get set, Jake, here for a very pivotal moment in this game.
This is a big moment coming up here. 3-stick and Luke Coughlin here. He's had a heck of a game so far. Let's see if he can come up with a little bit of magic in this situation.
Colby Huggan is the base runner for Prince Edward Island. He's standing at second base. Hopeful of coming home here and putting his team back out in front. That ball is hammered to right field. If it's a fair ball, it's going to put PEI in front, and it is. It is a double, and he's going to go for 3. It's a triple for Luke Coughlin. Prince Edward Island goes out in front 10-9 as Colby Huggan comes in from second base on a huge triple here with 2 out in the 7th inning. 10-9 PEI.
I don't even know what to say other than wow.
Crushed. That was as hard hit as we saw Connor Pote for Alberta hit that ball earlier on in the game. What a huge moment for PEI. There's a ball that's lifted to left field. Jacob Rubelski is under it in left field and hauls it in to end the inning. But a big RBI triple by Luke Coughlin puts Prince Edward Island up 10-9 as we go to the bottom of the 7th and a chance to close it out in just a moment. You're watching the live stream broadcast of the Ray Carter Cup Boys Under 15 Baseball Canada Championships on SportsCanada.TV. So we go to the bottom of the 7th inning here, Oshawa, Ontario, Kinsman Civic Memorial Stadium. A real seesaw back and forth game between Prince Edward Island and Alberta. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning, Alberta trailing 10-9. Prince Edward Island led this game 9-1. Alberta clawed their way back into it and got it back to a 9-9 tie, but PEI just went out in front in the top of the 7th inning and now lead 10-9. So we go to the 7th inning. Connor Pote is the leadoff hitter for Alberta against Colby Huggan, the pitcher for PEI, who just scored that go-ahead run for his team. There's a pitch in for a strike. Count is 1-1 to Connor Pote. Pote is 1 for 3 in the ball game. He hit a rocketing triple back in the 2nd inning and scored a run. That pitch is high, 2-1. Alberta with the 5, 6, and 7 hitters coming up here in the bottom of the 7th inning. They trail by a run. Pote pops that ball up behind short, and it is caught. Jacob Dunn will haul that in for the first out of the inning. 1 away.
Great play there. That is a huge out for PEI.
So that'll bring up Gavin Galenza. Was the starting pitcher for Alberta in this game. He is 0 for 1 in the ball game.
Ooh. Wow.
Takes a ball there, very close pitch. 0 for 1 in the ball game. He's walked twice and scored a run. 1 away here for Alberta in the 7th inning. Takes a pitch there for a strike, 1-1. Colby Huggan, the pitcher for PEI, trying to close things out here in just a wild game. There's a pitch again in for a strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Gavin Galenza.
Yeah, certainly. I think in the grand scheme of things, other than the Oshawa game last night, definitely probably one of the best games of the tournament.
Gavin Galenza takes a pitch at the knees for strike 3. 2 out. And PEI an out away from holding on to this crazy game here in the bottom of the 7th inning, but it will be Cole Carroll, the next batter. Cole Carroll in this game is 0 for 1. He has walked and scored, and he had a sacrifice fly back in the 2nd inning. He struck out in the 5th. 2 away. First pitch from Huggan is a strike. 0-1. Prince Edward Island 10, Alberta 9. We are in the last of the 7th in this Group B matchup. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss for strike 2. Prince Edward Island fired up on their bench right now just to the side of us. What a moment as Colby Huggan tries to hold on here for the Islanders.
You can expect Colby Huggins to be reaching back for a little extra here.
The 0-2 pitch is lofted to center field. Will Morrison is under it. He catches it. The game is over. Prince Edward Island wins a crazy game, 10-9 over Alberta to improve to 2-1 here at the Ray Carter Cup. Alberta falls to 1-2. Jake, what a game this was.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, when we're heading into the 3rd inning, I was talking to you like, you know what, this could possibly be a mercy situation. Boy, was I ever incorrect in that one. That was a great game, and kudos for Alberta to kind of come back. Needless to say, at the end of the day, it helps their plus-minus, even for both teams.
Winning pitcher is Colby Huggan. Losing pitcher is Liam Lewis.
So Colby Huggan comes on and wins the game for PEI. Liam Lewis really did a great job to keep his game. He only gave up really that 1 run in the last inning, but it was a great effort by him as he came on to the game with a 9-1 deficit and kept his team and gave his team a chance to win the game. So the teams will line up for player of the game presentations.
This time we'd like to direct your attention to home plate for the presentation of the Player of the Game Awards.
Prince Edward Island winning it 10-9 over Alberta. Both teams will regroup and play again later this afternoon or this evening here in Oshawa.
Going 5.1 innings pitched with 6 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, and 2 strikeouts. Number 23, Liam Lewis.
Liam Lewis will be the player of the game for Alberta. He came on in a difficult situation with his team trailing by 8 runs. His team clawed its way back into it and got it to 9-9.
5 with a game-winning RBI triple. Number 5, Luke Coughlin.
Luke Coughlin is the player of the game, and he had that clutch RBI triple in the top of the 7th inning to put Prince Edward Island in front for good, 10-9 in a wild game here at Kinsman Civic Memorial Stadium. So as the teams shake hands, we'll await the next game, which will be the host Oshawa Legionnaires against Team Ontario. And Ontario, of course, represented by the winning team in the Ontario eliminations, Whitby. And Whitby is just next door to Oshawa, so it's very much a local game in many ways with teams. Whitby and Oshawa know each other very well in baseball circles and in all kinds of sports circles over the years. So that should be a real barn burner coming up at 1 o'clock. But again, final score 10-9 here for PEI. Jake, Alberta has to feel disappointed after falling behind so early and then working so hard to get back into the ball game and then only seeing it slip away in the last inning.
You know what? Yeah, absolutely. If I was a player, I'd be a little bit ticked off myself that couldn't come back and complete the comeback. A little bit of a Cinderella story. However, going back to what I said a few moments ago, this is still very good for them in a plus-minus. Only losing by 1 run is a very much better than losing by 9, possibly 10.
So Alberta will play later, as will Prince Edward Island, and we will get set for our next ball game here at Kinsman Civic Memorial Stadium, scheduled to start at 1 o'clock, and it's already 12:24 Eastern Time right now. So we'll sign off and expecting to be back on at 1 o'clock Eastern for the game between Oshawa and Team Ontario. Again, the final score in this game, Prince Edward Island 10 and Alberta 9. For Jacob Ebbs, this is Brian Oliver. Good afternoon from Oshawa.